Hi guys, welcome to podcast number 4. So it's been a while
100.
since I'd be dead. Possibly sort of I can't imagine a bit of weight off or anything, but so yeah, it's been a while since we've done a video. We've actually been together quite a few times since the last update that we did. Obviously lockdown has completely eased off in the UK now, which has allowed us to kind of get back to doing stuff. The only downside
Not
of that
very
is
successful stuff.
we'll talk about this because the two times that we've got together have pretty much gone tits up both times, to be fair, but not through our own fault particularly, but
Need heavy duty tools instead.
Yeah.
So they don't give up.
So we you've not seen any battle reports because we've been working on terrain. So we got the table set up, we got the lights, we got the recording equipment, we've got the we've got everything we need. And even I've been learning to use Premiere Pro, which is a game changer from Windows Movie Maker, let me tell you. Don't say a bloody word. Because Ryan's been telling me to frigging ditch that piece of shit for ages, but
I just remember the old intro. Just the old intro, which looked like it was from like a year 1 at school IT project.
Enter the warp. Banger.
Rock music.
But yeah, it's not been going too shabby, to be fair. But we got together first time after lockdown, and if you follow Instagram or Facebook or any of our other social media, you'll have seen we were outside in the garden, raring to go, until Sam blew up a rotary tool.
I don't know if the Dremel just gave up. I don't think you did anything to the Dremel. I think the Dremel decided to commit suicide.
I like that better. I think it's the Dremel's fault.
Oh,
It wasn't mine. So we basically, Ryan had got some MDF and we were cutting around to mount our existing MDF terrain on, and we cutting away, and then it went blip.
Just stopped.
That was kind of Knackerland number 1. So we thought, well, it can't be the Dremel because it's a Dremel. Must be a fuse inside. So I then order some fuses from Tool Station, and we get in the car, drive into York, get the fuses, come back, put them in, expecting, right, Operation Terrain will resume. It didn't.
Nope.
It did not go.
Then we got new rotary tool for the second attempt on the second visit.
Yep.
And we also got wood cutting bits to reduce the strain on the tool bit. Good old China.
Now, the rotary tool, great.
Fine. Great.
The wood cutting tool, bits, great. Like a knife through butter. We were making...
The mount.
Yeah.
The mounting bit bent. Like...
I don't know.
If you still have it.
If I've still got it. If I do, this will be funny. I do.
Oh, yeah.
Normal rotary tool goes into your Dremel, yeah? Nice. Straight.
The thing is, you weren't even putting any pressure down on it. You were just gently pressing into the wood at the correct angle. And for some reason it gave way. Bearing in mind that to do that, it has to be bending in one specific point because it's spinning around. So it's not like it's not on the same point every time because as it spins, you're pressing down in different places on the bit.
Yep.
So that was the best part, 'cause it nearly then obviously was bending back towards your fingers.
So it might seem like we don't know what we're doing, but bear in mind I've restored classic cars and built trikes and done all sorts of car repairs, so it's not like I'm a novice in what I'm doing. But yeah, that
and
sort of
the only reason
terrible.
we were using that was because to use a jig, the guard would take up too much space to get close to the terrain.
Yeah.
And because we've got because the boards would have that we've got two pieces mounted to the same board and certain ones are already mounted, and you can't really run the jig the guard between the middle, like because of how big the guard is, or go around the edge, because if you tried to go around the edge, the guard would pretty much go off the edge of the board because we only have like an inch or two around the edge.
Yeah.
And our other tool options are, well, obviously if I'm there, I don't have any other tools with me at the time. So that, again, went bust when we had that go wrong, and that won't work. And then the sanding as well, the sanding bits that came in that toolbox were completely trash. And they're just...
shite.
They're just...
in fact, it's like a graveyard here.
They would last about 10 seconds.
Close. It's not going to pick it up very well, but yeah.
And it's not even heavy duty stuff because it's literally some cheap ass mounting board, like cheap MDF board.
Yeah, it's just cheap,
it's just
isn't
the
it?
edge. Yeah, it's compressed board. So now our solution is a heavy duty file belt sander, and the heavy duty cutting tool I originally was going to get instead of the rotary tool, but we suggested not because obviously rotary tool it'll work. Yeah, it's fine. It's just not bother. We're just gonna go with the hacksaw for chopping up bodies and the file belt sander.
That'll work. I mean, yeah. We could have got a jigsaw and we could have done all sorts of wonderful things, but really, when you see how thin this board is, what, about 3 mil?
Yeah.
There's no to it. So we thought rotary tool through it, nice and easy, and then really smooth
the sanding tool. Yeah.
So you guys know yourselves from making your own terrain. I imagine some of you do that watch this channel. You can get a knife and you can bevel it yourself. It works to a degree, but it don't look smooth. It don't look nice. Whereas actually using proper sanding shit, really smooth.
Because we're just trying to gradually, super thin, and then gradually work its way up, so that when you put the basing material on, you don't see the harsh edge, and therefore it blends into the board.
Exactly. But of course, that kind of went tits up. So that was day number 2. So actually, what we did was the day didn't go to waste. We did nothing channel related at all, but we sat watching rockets. So, there's lots we could have done, but by this point we're like, for fuck's sake. So we ended up watching.
It was that I'll build more plastic kits, and to be fair, the board's pretty much covered already, so we don't need to build the. I went and built the bolt action stuff. There's also the bolt action stuff we have. That's not fully built. I think there's one hut you build. I think I sent it to yours, and that one hut built. We've got a factory. You can
notice the theme here. So I self-confessed I'm slack as buggery. So we do these videos, and the last one, well, we're gonna try and do a video a week, and we'll commit to doing this, that, the other. Let me be honest, life just shits on everything. So
and then he goes to work.
That's pretty much what shits on everything, isn't it? So, I've said before, manager at a busy no. Ryan's got a really cracking job now. We're busy guys. And then sometimes when you just...
No.
I'm trying to make it sound like you work hard, mate.
I work and I do my job. But I wouldn't say that I ever feel stressed, overworked, or at any point the kind of shit you're dealing with. I have a nice job. It's a good job. You have a nice paying job. It's just not nice work.
I was gonna
a lot of the time. It has its high points.
Listing my daily stress, anxiety. Yeah.
I have zero stress. I have air conditioning at work. I sit there. I do my job. It's chill. Nice people. Calm. Though at the moment, that's for 1 day of the week, and in 4 days it's working from home, which, when the heat's in, and the fact that my oven's like a sauna in here, that doesn't really work very well, but
no.
I can look forward to that one Friday of air conditioning.
What has COVID done to us where we look forward to going to work for air conditioning?
And you've got nice big open warehouse for a nice. That it gets pretty cool at times until you step on a wagon and that's a sauna.
Heats right up, doesn't it?
When it opens up and just the heat just comes out like, I want to kill you.
But you know, that's he's pretty much hit the nail on the head. So for all I've got the best intentions, Ryan has the best intentions. Sometimes things just slow us down, and you know, you're having a busy time at work. You come home, and then the thought of I'm gonna go build
Plastic kits.
50 plastic kits. Not quite 50, but it was a few. To be fair, what actually really helped, and it was
COVID.
It was shit because throughout the entirety of COVID, I'd never been pinged, and then about a month ago, I got pinged, and couldn't go anywhere, couldn't leave the house. I never left the house.
But we had plenty of plastic kits being delivered to keep you busy.
So yeah, so Ryan kept pinging through sort of terrain and stuff, and it kept arriving every day almost. And there's me just sat there building bastions, manufactoriums. I was just sat building all sorts. So actually, the terrain that we built up, I would never have got done, or very slowly otherwise. So, you know,
we'd have to spend a day doing it, which is not particularly exciting stuff.
No. It wasn't awful building the kits, but once you built one bastion, building another 3 is not particularly exciting. But it got it done. So, you know, we got masses of terrain ready to roll, and then of course these 2 days that we got together just went to absolute pieces. You know, the table's sat over there now, the lights are ready to roll. You know, we're literally ready to go, apart from we just want some colour on the terrain.
And the bases and the material, like the everything. They just finish off.
Exactly.
We don't want to play on Captain Grey plastic terrain.
God no.
It's about as bad as playing with cardboard boxes and saying it's a wonderful battlefield around the soda cans.
What do they call that? Arena of the mind. Just imagine that this glass is a drop pod. Off we go. Not that you use a bloody drop pod, but that's kind of where we're at the minute. So, as soon as
I use a vehicle drop pod.
That's a big model.
But I forgot to use it when I last brought it. Like a lot of points dedicated into I think it was before they changed it, because now you can't have one. I think it's over 9 wounds or whatever in the drop pod, but it was when you could put Redemptor Dreadnought into the drop pod, and now you can't do that. So I don't know if I'll use it or not. I'll have to use one of the small.
Yeah, you forgot to bring it in, didn't you?
Yeah. It just because it was on the window shelf behind the curtain. I just
loads of points sunk into it, and it would have been cool as buggery hitting the table.
I needed it as well. I think that would have changed the battle if I had it in, because it would have gone straight into your back line, which was the problem I had at the time.
Was that one of the games I won?
Yes, because I had nothing left.
So this is a rarity. Ryan normally beats me hands down.
But when I don't bring my army in...
Yeah, well, that... when like a quarter of your army's off the board, it kind of helps me a little bit.
I think all I had left was the gunship, and all I could do was plink it, so I couldn't capture the objectives. But if I had the drop pod from, I think, turn 2, which originally the plan was to bring it in turn 2, which never happened, I could have contested the freaking objectives, but no, I forgot to bring it in. I only remembered it after the battle was over, and I was like, oh yeah, that's probably why I didn't have much on the board.
What was I playing? Was it Orcs?
I know, I think you were Fists.
Ah. Because the Fists have never hit the channel, had they? So I think that was we
friendly. It was a friendly game.
Yeah,
maybe.
It was. That's right.
You never got to see. I might have remembered if it was being filmed. Cause
no, I don't think I've won a game against you on film. I genuinely don't. I've beaten Sean on film.
Yes, but that was slaughter.
Yeah, it was. It was your Adeptus Mechanicus with a few of his models thrown in.
The one squad that was painted, which I brought to give to him, is the only squad that's still painted that I gave to him.
Yeah, Sean is
Captain Grey.
If you think I'm bad at speed of stuff, Sean's like on another level. He transcends my sort of laziness. Yeah. So
He has Black Legion. He still hasn't done the black, which is the spray can.
which is like the fundamental colour.
And then the gold. And then if you painted the guns like silver, that would be your three colours.
Yeah.
But so far, we're still on the 0 colour, the grey colour.
The best of all the colours, Sean would
argue.
But yeah, we've been busy throughout. So I mean, the Imperial Fists, which again you've not seen on the channel, is massive now. I keep adding stuff all the time.
He does have. I forgot. He has Abaddon as well. I painted that for him.
Yes, and it's
so
actually really nice.
I still want to do my work on that next year, but because I'm now working on Bellicar. I don't play Chaos. I hate Chaos. I get them and I paint them. That's.
But they're nice though, aren't they? To paint, they're more interesting than a regular Marine. I would argue.
They are better than Dirt Face of the Imperial Fists and Dirt Face of every other faction I can think of. They're all Dirt Face.
This is who he's on about, by the way.
Dirt Face.
Tall Garadon.
But he doesn't have Dirt Face because I found a Gravis helmet.
Took a helmet and.
They don't come with a helmet in the kit. I literally just found one of my spare aggressors kits and went, that's not having that Dirt Face, and putting that on. I mean, it's got all this heavy hunky armor and it's meant to be an Imperial Fist, and it's like, I'm just gonna have no helmet on.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because I have a weird thing about my army. So all my Marines, apart from I think 2, which came with the Imperial Fist Supremacy Battle Force, and I couldn't do anything with. All my Marines have to have a helmet on, because in my mind they're in space, so they need the helmet to protect them. I don't have the similar sort of thing about vehicles though, do I? Because pretty much every one of my vehicles has some sort of disability. It's either a headless driver, he's got no arms, he's got no legs. There's some form of disability with every single one of my vehicles. But my Marines have to have helmets on.
They didn't have to do that with the new Speeder because the guy in the back comes with tinnitus included.
So the Storm Speeder, literally, it just has a head, which is perfect, really. It just fits in. It keeps with that model with something wrong with him. Yeah, I dislike that. You modelled it without it, didn't
you? Yeah. I think I reversed the turret round and found some spare bits. I don't really have a picture of mine to show, but basically it doesn't look like that crap.
So we're on about this geezer here at the back.
Because mine's reversed. Because my missile launchers come further forward, and then there's like I don't know if I put like a satellite dish or something in front, or like something else that just looks better than a guy sat in there for some reason. Really expensive Primaris Marines. There's only 1,000 Marines per chapter. Let's put 3 of them in a death trap. Yeah. Of which, most of the time, they have to be tech priests a lot of the time, because most of the vehicle drivers are tech related. And I mean, that means they have to be pretty skilled to fly a speeder. I don't know if you'd really want 3 Marines. So, each their own with that design, but don't really have man turrets. There's nothing else with man turrets in the freaking or like the flat gun with the guy just sat on it. What a stupid idea is that?
Oh, you mean yes, the what do they call it? Servo gun? Servo turret?
Yeah, the whatever it's freaking
awful
called.
Looking thing.
Well, you've got a Thunderfire cannon which is remote controlled by a tech priest, and then they decided, no, that's backwards. Let's have a guy sat on it.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Attack of the
flat
Clones.
Gun from I was going to thought World War II flat gun from.
No, I'm going Attack of the Clones with the droids riding on those like hover things. God awful.
The tanks.
Yeah. Awful. So yeah, we Melissa, my daughter, has been repainting Death Guard. So when I first put them on the table, they were shit. I literally put a bit of colour on just to get them on the table. And she spent so much time going through them and repainting. Again, you're probably not going to pick this up really well. In fact, you're not, because the camera wants to focus on my chubby face instead of the actual models.
I think it's the shine that's reflecting off with the light.
Off my forehead, you mean?
If
Yeah.
if you put the model in front of your face, I bet it focuses. Yep, there we go.
Actually, does a bit better, doesn't it?
I mean, it's just the skin reflecting. I mean, look at my face. That's reflect. I'm white right here.
No comment. But yeah, you know, we've got all sorts ready to rock and roll. We just need the terrain. So we are trying to work on that, because obviously, you know, we know through our own analytics that these types of videos don't tend to do very well. But our battle reports, even our shit battle reports, the first one we ever did, which was on unpainted MDF terrain.
Not even nice MDF terrain. It was the oversized Bridge of Doom.
I don't even think you'd even played, had you, before?
No, because I just used to collect them for painting.
To collect and paint.
I just knew about 40k through them lore and stuff like that, and I used to paint. I don't really play the game as much, and it's hard to get into the game because if you go into a Games Workshop store, you don't go, I want to be part of this crowd.
No.
Would you like to buy this? Would you like to buy this? Would you like to buy this? Do you need help? Do you need help? No, I want to buy stuff in peace, please. Like, I just want to look at the stuff and buy it. I will buy more if you leave me alone. Like,
that is pretty much every time I've been into any type of Games Workshop building, it's just push product.
And they don't like Forge World in those stores as well, so you can't even, if you want to play games there, you can't take Forge World stuff, so that's an immediate no from me.
Well, Mr. Forge World himself. So yeah, you know, things are on the move. We'll keep plugging away the terrain, and then as soon as that's done, we can literally just be banging out battle reports left and right. Because, you know, we got the shit. We're ready to go.
We got the shit.
We got the shit, yeah. You know, we've been brushing up on video editing, all sorts of infographics, and all sorts of bits and pieces that should just, again, make things look a lot better. But,
so
you know,
we're looking at an hour to film the video, and then maybe 2 years to release said video after editing's complete by Sam.
That's it, exactly. And the best thing is, because we do like quick shot battle reports where they're like half an hour, you know, yeah, that's at least a month per video to edit it. At the rate that I go at, you know, 10 minutes a night here and there.
Working out the new tools, the infographic part of it, probably be the hardest part.
Yeah.
The rest of it is pretty simple.
I have dabbled in the off time. I have worked on cutting stuff and doing all bits and pieces, but yeah, that's going to be the most challenging.
Because we do have the program. There is a thing that you can do in Premiere where it auto puts the content in not alphabet, but basically date order. So it works out when stuff was filmed and then puts it in the correct order. And the way we film, obviously, we don't film battle reports backwards. We don't start from turn 5 to turn 1. So, funnily enough, when you put it all together, it just fits in the correct order. Apart from also putting any errors in, or like the stuff that we forgot to delete before we get to that stage.
Yeah. Which some of that might stay in anyway, just because it'll be bloody funny, but who knows. But yeah, that's that section. So, shall we move on and talk about Warhammer Plus? Because that is fast approaching. Now, everybody in the community knows about Warhammer Plus by now. If you don't, you've been hidden under a rock.
There's also some drama happening as well at the moment to do with Warhammer Plus.
Drama?
Yes, have you not heard about the fact that their legal team is now on the full hunt for basically any fan-created content and is killing anyone that tries to do it? I don't mean literally killing them. They're basically shutting down anything.
You never know.
There's not a GW SWAT team that's flying through the windows after these. Basically, they're basically stopping any fan-made project. No one's allowed to make 40k content anymore, basically, essentially, is what they're saying. No 40k fan animations, nothing, nada. You try and do it, they'll come after you, they'll try and get rid of your channel. That would be nice. Good old legal team. And I know why, because obviously their Warhammer Plus content must be shit. And they're scared the fact that fan-made, because I hate to say this, but apart from the Astartes guy, I don't like the rest of it. I mean, there's that comic book style thing that they've got. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I also like Astartes, but is it the Hell Gates? Whatever has the Blood Angels in with the weird black noir, like styling video thing. Hate that. The animations are atrocious. I hate the rest of it. It's all garbage, and I don't care about Sigma stuff, so I don't want to watch those animations.
Agreed.
And depending on how they release these animations, I'm guessing it'll be drips and drabs. And if they have people releasing content elsewhere with Patreons and they're getting lots of money for those Patreons, like Astartes was, I have a feeling that he maybe just joined 40k team because he was probably forced to, with the threat that if he doesn't in the future, they're going to start banning everyone that's making that content, and they maybe start legal proceedings on him for his Patreon, which he was making money off their content. No guesses there, but like
I think you're pretty much right. So if you look back as far as them streamlining down different shops around the world. So do you remember Mini Wargaming when they used to have the online store?
Yeah.
And then they basically brought out this new way of working where they could only order, was it $500 worth of stuff a month? Or it was something. Basically, they were throttling all these other companies so that people would go direct. So they were killing
obviously
off
doesn't work.
lots of different sort of businesses. And you know what? The sad thing about that is, you are absolutely right, and I have heard different content creators go on about it. I think Winter's SEO had a rant about it. I've seen other people have rants about it. And
it could be good, and it could be bad. That's all I'm going to say.
When you kill...
the community is basically...
That's it. So when you kill different projects, you kill a buzz in the community. So Astartes, for anybody that's ever watched it, is great.
Quality animation.
Takes a while to get there, but don't get me wrong. You know, you wait a while. But
one guy's that's why, but it's
really good.
Just creme de la creme of what they've done. I mean, 1 minute of that was worth maybe what 500 Ultramarine movies.
Yeah, well, there goes the dog. The Ultramarine movie was by far
the worst thing they've ever released in existence.
Fucking garbage. It was awful.
Just the only good thing they had was the voice acting, the animation, the story, and everyone who ever thought that was a good idea was just crazy.
Proteus. It was dog shit. Absolute awful.
I can't remember what the story was meant to be. I mean, they were basically sent there as canaries to see what had gone wrong.
I can remember, but you won't want me to recount it because it's like having fucking flashback horror nightmares. Awful.
I thought it was just the outpost went silent and that was guarded by fists or something.
Yeah, that was it, basically. Yeah. And it turned out to be chaos.
Because I know the Imperial Fists, they have, what is it, them like monasteries they guard. But where's the guard? You'd send the guard first. Oh, they've gone quiet. Send, all right, 5 million guardsmen, see what's up. Oh, they're dead. Right, let's move it up the chain order. Send 15 million guardsmen this time. Right, they're all dead. Right, exterminate us from above. Must be bad.
Well, just like the movie.
But it's not even their space.
No.
Ultramarine, it's the wrong side for Ultramarines to be like you. All right, we've got a problem. Let's send the Ultramarines because they're the closest. I know they've got their own system and they have their own realm and they've got their own problems on the eastern fringe with the Tau and everything else. But let's send them into freaking near Terra because that's an instant response. Or we could send maybe one of the many available like brotherhoods, what you call the successor chapters of the Fists that are conveniently located nearby to the Imperial Fists to the location.
So I'm just having a quick gander here. 25th of August
is when it's released.
That's the release date. I actually agree with what you're saying as well with them dribbing and drabbing content.
Can't release it all because people just go buy, then sell.
So I don't think the offer of the miniature, which you have to be subscribed for a year and then you get a free miniature. Really nice miniature. I'm not knocking the miniature. It's great, but if the content's bad, that won't be enough to keep people subscribing for a year.
Because they've literally thrown everything in the kitchen sink in as an attempt to make it more appealing. So like they've got, well, we'll have all the like you'll have access to the current subscription, which is like the access to the data sheets, updated app with all the data sheets, books, and rules in. And then they've also got like access to old White Dwarfs and old content and stuff like that. And then we'll give you this and we'll give you that. And it's like, how bad is the content, or how slow are you going to release the content that you have to throw all this stuff in to make it worthwhile? Because obviously they're going to want to release on the best stuff, but
Yeah, you
how
want to
quickly
start
does that
high,
run
don't
out?
you? Yeah.
How quickly does that stuff run out if you need to keep all this in? And how slowly is it going to be released that you have to keep all this stuff in for people to keep their subscription? Because I can't imagine that because based on how Astartes was worked on, unless they've magically expanded their team of animators, there's no way Astartes is gonna be like, every week on Friday you're gonna get new Astartes content. That's not happening.
No. No.
It's gonna be like every Friday in a full blue moon on this enchanted day on this week of this year, you will get an Astartes episode, and then tune in next week, and then 12 years later you'll get episode 2 of that. Uh, I mean, some of them must have more like a bigger team than others, but Astartes, I'm pretty sure, was just one guy. And I doubt that they're gonna go like, well, here's your new team. I know you've never worked with a team before, but here's your team of animators. They've now got to try and copy your style.
Yeah, and that again is another important thing, that guy has a way of working, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's going to be like, that's shit if you try and put something out that looks like any other of the animations where Space Marines were involved. Because there's a lot of Space Marine animations, but they all look either slow, derpy, shit. His was precise. They didn't move with any like stupid excessive motion. The melee combat was quick and brutal. They didn't have like over emotional bullshit where like in the other production to do with, I don't know, is it the Blood Angels, or there's another one which I think is the I forget what the guys in black. I always forget 'cause the boring church dudes.
Black Templars.
Black Templars, yeah. The one there's that one as well, which basically is just some old men talking for like 6 years, who are going like it's just like the whole the Emperor and his holy wisdom, blum 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 blum, oh la da 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 da, like just talking epic holy talk, epic holy talk. How dare you talk about the epic holy talk? Just that type of thing. No one's really interested. And I don't think Space Marines, which basically train to kill, and his main job is to protect the Emperor and his supposed domain, as ruthlessly and efficiently as possible, defeating the heretic, the freaking alien, whatever else that's in the world. Like, they're not going to be around chatting about the Holy Emperor. Everything's wonderful. Let's pray all day. They get on with
Your
the
cup
job
of
at
tea's
hand.
ready, Bob,
Yeah,
and I brought the
also,
biscuits. Yeah.
the minimal. They're not going to be talking all day. They're literally either put on ice to preserve their age and put in stasis, or they're deployed or training. They're not. There's not a lot of just let's hang around the ship and talk. That's why they have freaking
Emmerdale.
serfs, and that's what. Yeah,
That's why Emmerdale is a thing. You don't want that on Warhammer Plus.
yeah. I mean, they have serfs and they have crew for their ships, and if you look at the lore in general, it may change based on who wrote the book, because some people are shit and some people are decent, and that's the Black Library all over. But generally, if they're not deployed, they're in stasis. You don't have a weapon that can age and has an expiry date just sat on a ship having chats about holiness. Just like random shit, like drama. Oh, I can't believe Facius did this. I don't believe this is with the Codex. How dare he? Like, what shit is that? I don't want to watch that. I don't care. Like, read the books if you want that type of conversation. Like, we don't need a whole, like, I don't know how to call it, but like behind the scenes chat. Come join us in the armory where we get to have the real down to earth conversations with the Space Marines.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I guess the proof will be in what we watch. So obviously, we're clearly going to get it. you know.
But there's no speech in the starters as well in the marine stuff. There was not hardly any speech because obviously from the outside of the helmet, all the speech is being like coded between each other. They don't. It doesn't come out like
No,
unless they've got
because
it set to come out.
they have it on
It's
Vox channels.
it helps. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
exactly.
unless they open up the like a public because obviously they'll have like a I don't know like an amplifier like some type of speaker in the helmet so that the voice can come out from the helmet. But generally, if they're in space or any vacuumous situation, sound doesn't travel in a vacuum. So it has to be between the helmets. And also, you don't need the sound coming out, because unless you're talking to a guardsman, which generally, if a guardsman's near a space marine, the guardsman's probably just a corpse. Because generally, where space marines are, guardsmen aren't alive. Like,
It's true.
because especially if the drop pod landed and you're on top of the emplacement that some guy was using.
The drop pod just lands on top of the
That's on top.
guardsman. That's how much disregard.
It's like, this is the safest landing spot. It's occupied. Doesn't matter. Drop them there. Like, they don't care. Like, yeah, the job is to keep humanity alive, but humanity just means all of humanity, not the 6 guardsmen in that trench.
True.
There's an enemy on the other side. It's enemy space marine. Use the melter, but there's 6 guardsmen in the way. And just it's just extra meat.
Brilliant. Guardsman barbecue.
Yeah,
Brought to you by Space Marines.
There is. But there's many different like flavors of animation, and they previewed some of it. You've obviously got the Tower one as well with the I forget even what that was called because I mean it looked cool, but I don't remember the name of the animation. I literally only remember Astartes because Astartes is good, and the rest are questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm actually gonna have to get it up. I'll actually have to get it up to see what we got. But considering I don't like the new website layout because they've got 5 million different websites, because they got Warhammer Plus and Warhammer this and Warhammer whatever else, LD. Finding anything is a bit difficult. Here we go. Warhammer animation. Where's the link of all of them on? Just lots of adverts for coming soon. I mean, I don't know if you've watched any of the previews of the other stuff. Angels of Death is the other one. That's the one with the Blood Angels and the Gene Stealers and the really shitty animation where the lips don't really match with the like everything else.
I watched a lot when it initially sort of was announced, but I've not kind of watched a lot since because again, I'm gonna get it regardless, and then I'll make my own mind up whether or not I enjoy a show or I don't enjoy it.
If the app has all the data sheets and stuff and can be used in tournaments, because obviously you need books normally, if you can use the app instead, I'm all for it because I don't mind paying the price if it has all up to date. And because you buy a codex, it's outdated when you buy it because they change the rules. Yeah.
I've never known a codex be printed in all the time I've been playing 40k and then not being mistaken that codex or that they then errata it within a week or two.
I mean, it's kind of like, why have codexes? Like, why release these books? Why not just release a PDF version that you can buy, and then they'll update it, and then when you've actually made all your changes to the book, then maybe release a hardback copy that someone actually wants to keep.
What's weird though is that when they were working on 9th edition, they sent the rules off to loads of different playtesters. So Tabletop Tactics, for example, were playtesting the 9th edition rules months and months and months in advance of them coming out. These guys then got to discuss what worked, what didn't, and you can put it to the test to people that are going to try and do the most broken thing with the rules that they can.
Yeah, that's just what people do in competitive.
Of course it is. So you get people that build for narrative, you get people that build for competitiveness. And, you know, if you can give it to a bunch of seasoned competitive players and go, there you go, try and break it, that's your best chance of wheedling out things that shouldn't maybe be there.
But they might also just not break it because they know about the rules being broken, but they'll just say, this is broken instead. I'll just keep this for myself and then get to the tournaments and then break it. I bet a lot of the playtesters that are tournament guys don't actually playtest to the truest sense. I bet they go, well, there's some issues here and issues there. I'm just gonna keep this to myself, this one, and then magically
Yeah.
these guys go to tournaments after the play testing's been done and know all the brokenness, and then it gets kicked out once they've won the tournament and the cash.
It's possible. Yeah. There's a bit of human nature there, isn't there?
Oh yeah, this is broken. They'll work it out when I basically table everyone at the tournament. Like that's the play testing. It's not the play testers that do the play testing. It's the tournament. Like, some of those tournament guys will be play testers, but they'll have found out all the broken stuff through the play test where they found no problems. And then when they go to the tournament, then all the stuff magically comes
there is
out.
that side of it. I mean,
Because one of the biggest FAQs always happens after the first big tournament.
It's true.
Oh, we found this, like with the rule of three. Oh, we found massive rules like spam with certain like units after the supposed playtest had happened, and that wasn't found out. We decided after the tournament when people basically trounced everyone with certain armies, or like knights after the tournament where everyone who was a tournament player suddenly had knights.
I remember that. It's very true. In fact, pretty much every list that you saw at a tournament was just knights on. Like, there's 5
But
knights,
they didn't find that
knights.
at the playtest. Those rules being broken. Funny that. Oh yeah, we send it out to a diverse crowd of tournament guys. They didn't mention anything to do with knights, but apparently all of them had the same idea to come with a knights list at the tournament. Don't know why.
Strange.
It's like they had a heads up.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I was going to say about, be a good idea to send these codexes out to these people to give them a go, but actually you've just made a really valid point there that...
They just get a heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
oh, that goes with that, and if I play that stratagem there,
I better get that. It's like the people who you should be talking to are basically all the commission painters. If they suddenly start getting massive orders for night commission paints before like a certain tournament's coming up, just after a playtest has been announced, and it's coming from the same people that get the playtest and do the playtest as tournament goers, and they're suddenly coming out all with the same armies to commission painters, there's probably a massive like steam wall coming.
That should be a red flag.
It's like.
Straight away, yeah.
I mean, it's not like these tournament people always go with knights before they actually went to this tournament. They just suddenly all had knight armies. Just all of them. All went on the same tournament, and it was basically like 9 out of 10 people with a knight army. I wonder how that happens. Weird.
Brilliant. No. You know what? That is a very, very valid point.
Because they do say, like, oh, we send them out to content creators. Again, content creators, they might actually find issues and they'll highlight those issues. Or they might not make some cool videos and then release them. These are broken when they know that these people go with the tournament goers. They'll break the rules at the tournaments, and then the content creators have already made the video about them breaking the rules because they already knew that was a problem. I honestly think that playtest, they don't find a lot. I bet they just make some slight changes. Oh, this ain't great. This could be simpler worded. It doesn't make it's just the basic stuff. They won't actually talk about what's actually broken in terms of this is a really broken army build in this book. Otherwise, you won't get the thing with the what is it? The Iron Warriors? Oh, not the Iron Warriors. The Iron Hands. Iron Hands, yeah. The tournament where loads of Iron Hand players magically appeared, and then that got nerfed into the ground afterwards.
What do they call it? Flavour of the month.
Yes, yeah.
Flavour of the month.
That's always.
Yeah.
But that's in the playtest. But the book with the Iron Hands in, all this stuff supposedly gets playtested by the tournament goers, who then come with the army that they've been playtesting.
So, I think
every codex.
Go on.
Every codex that gets released, that's the flavour of the month. Until a week after the tournaments happen, that's near enough the time that the codex is about to come out near. Because I bet when they obviously get heads up on what's coming out soon, or they'll know what's going to come out. So they build the army.
The rumour mill's there, isn't it?
Yeah. But the tournament goers that get, because obviously the big tournament winners are probably the ones they go to playtest. They get the codex. They then know which army's coming out. They quickly scan for what's broken. They build that army at the commission painter just in time for the tournament. Don't say much about the playtesting, but then do the playtesting after they've done the tournament. Go, well, this is really broken after I've won this like £40,000 tournament. Yeah, you need to fix these rules that I used to win this tournament with. Definitely broken. Every codex, it's like Orc Codex when that comes out, the new one. Orc spam, like when the Ultramarines were first released with Gilliman spam. Just every. They go through playtests, but that playtest doesn't do jack.
God, even Grey Knights had their moment, didn't they?
Every army has their moment.
But I mean, that was the first. That was the first codex they released. But God, I can remember Grey Knights were like stunning, and then it was like.
It's the way it always is. So if you want to know what's going to be the most broken army, just look at what codex is up next. Because none of it will be play tested in the terms of fixing the brokenness that's in it. You'll find that out at the next tournament, where the tournament players that have been play testing already know what's broken, take it to the table, and thrash your ass.
Yeah. So that brings us to Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. However, we're going to do that in a separate video, I think, because this one's gone on really long.
And also, I don't think that Grey Knights will be that broken. But
well, they'll have to do a lot to them to make them broken. So I've been watching stuff all day about Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. Obviously,
they've made the weapons a bit tougher. That's all I've seen, and some rules. There's like some slight rule changes, some slight weapon changes to make them better, and then, but until the codex comes out, we don't know. But obviously, if commission painters, you can let us know in the comments. If you're getting tons of orders for Grey Knight armies, possibly swing there in the playtesting.
I reckon you're probably more likely Thousand Suns than Grey Knights, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a separate video.
It'll be Thousand Suns and Be'lakor. That'll be what's the new flavour of the month for the next tournament. Probably.
I've heard they've done hashtag make Magnus great again.
I don't think anyone should bother with that. I mean, Be'lakor's better because you can take him in every army, and he's not just a massive asshole. I mean, no offense to Magnus the Red, but he was the crybaby of the group.
So just put that on a t-shirt. Be'lakor for president.
He is just the crybaby of the family. I mean, he was in the law. He was a daddy's boy who just didn't like the way that he was being told not to do the shit that he then did because it it's like, how dare you, Dad? I'm going to do the stuff you told me never to do. It's gone badly. I wonder why. It's almost like you're a superior psyker to me, and that you knew that we shouldn't be messing with this. How?
So you've got that to look forward to in the next vid. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little ramble on. Again, we'll talk about Grey Knights, we'll talk about Thousand Suns. To be fair, even though I've watched a lot, I want to just get a codex in my hands and actually properly read it, because everything you're seeing at the minute is great, but it's opinions. And I'll have an opinion, Ryan will have an opinion, you'll all have an opinion on it, and the great thing is that all the opinions will be different.
Oh, and also there's a good thing that people should know, that if you have a Chaos Army, you can go to Forge World and buy a Vindicator Laser Destroyer since they changed the rules.
Fuck's sake, here he goes. Do you know what? We're not sponsored by Forge World, but you would think that we were by Mr. Forge World.
It's a great item, and the reason why they've allowed Chaos players to get a Vindicator Laser Destroyer is probably because it sells really well. Because it's really good, and they made it stronger. So just so you know, you can now use one. And instead of buying Predators or anything else, just buy a Vindicator Laser Destroyer. It's better.
As a guy that's faced 3 of them on a regular basis, I can say they're very, very good. I don't know
about Chaos rules, but if you have anything that can improve your vehicle aim, Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Just better. It's the one option that you can now have, that you wished you had for a reason, because it killed you numerous times, and because Death Guard vehicles are shit. But now you can also own a vehicle that can kill things.
That was your service announcement from Mr. Forge World. Thank you for
And I
watching.
am always going to be here selling Vindicator Laser Destroyers. I make 5% on every Vindicator Laser Destroyer that is sold.
You can just picture him on a street corner like, hey, do you want to buy one of these? They're good. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Happy gaming.